All right, we will start as usual with our board and commission interviews. We have a full slate of interviews tonight. And just in case I didn't have a chance to talk to every one of you, the drill simply is that we'll invite you to come up here so you can see most of the council. Tell us why you'd like to be on this particular board or commission and what you think you might bring to it. Council will then have the opportunity to ask questions if they have them. And we're going to start with Tim Farner, who is interviewing for the Sustainability Commission, and I believe there may be one more interview, but Tim, would you? Sure. Actually, it's very formal. You're Timothy on here. It's not how I knew you as coach.
No, that's not how anybody knows me.
Okay, please.
Yeah. So, okay, my name is Tim Farner, and I applied for the Sustainability Commission because I've really always been interested in environmental issues. I've worked in a research lab at Washington University Medical School for 40 years. And so I do know something about science. So I think I can bring that to the table as far as Sustainability Commission. I also have some hobbies that parallel this, which is my wife and I have a couple of pollination gardens in our house. I have a couple of beehives. I try to counsel neighbors to not use pesticides, which is one of the reasons I think I'd like to be on this commission, is to continue that. Let's see. I'm just recently semi-retired, so I'm only working 4 days a week. And so I have a little more time, and that's primarily why I thought I would volunteer for something like this, because I have some more time. I'd like to do something for the city, and I thought this was a good place to focus my efforts. So,
Right. Any questions? So we covered all the bases, Tim.
Oh,
Thank you
okay.
very much. See,
Yes.
we're not a tough crowd.
okay.
I shouldn't say that. Who knows what's going to happen? But thank you. So it's
That seemed a little too easy.
well, keep in mind also that everyone's read your application, so
Okay.
we know a little more about you maybe than we're letting on.
Okay, gotcha.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thanks so much.
Good.
Yeah, we're
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
Okay, we also have an interview now for the Arts Commission. Trish Maiko Tobin.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you, Mayor. Hello, my name is Trish Moiko Tobin, and I've been eyeing the Arts Commission position for some time. But this year brought me some clarity in terms of my schedule, and so I thought I'd give it a shot this year. I'm a member of the journalism faculty at Webster University. I've been teaching there for 5 years now. And I discovered 5 years ago, I started teaching at the invitation of the department chair of journalism. And since then, I've discovered that teaching journalism is a passion. But I've been a journalist now for 30 years, and for about 2/3 of that time, I've been covering the arts. And so what I see in Webster is really a lot of untapped potential. There are a lot of good things going on here, but in terms of me knowing, I don't want to say the movers and shakers, but the people who are involved with these arts organizations and knowing how to have conversations with them. I just see so many more possibilities in terms of making this a true city of the arts. I mean, it already is, but I would like to see it better, just because I'm passionate about the arts.
All right, questions?
It's good to hear your perspective. I think it seems unique to who's on the commission now.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading some of the responsibilities from the charter, I guess. And I see that it's made up mainly of artists.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought what I could bring to the table is my perspective as a journalist, as somebody who has covered more than one aspect of the arts. I'm really passionate about live theater. And here at Webster, we have 2 world-class theater organizations. I mean, people from all over the world come here to see world premieres at Opera Theater and the Rep. And I think that's really something that we need to raise that profile a little bit more because it's our neighborhood and people come here for that. So, and I also know that, you know, we have galleries and so many other things. We've got Webster Arts. And so I just think that there is a way to kind of work that all together in terms of making us more visible and making us really known as a destination for something like that.
Excellent. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Trish, will you bring Henry to the meetings?
I can.
I like your shoes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna move us right
Now
along.
I need to see your shoes. I mean, now give him shoes, please.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry, now you gotta make us loop around the room, so.
Should I move now?
Next, we're gonna go to the Business Development Commission. We have a
And
vacancy.
the article.
Thank you.
Yes.
Perfect accent.
Exactly.
So, Drest, you're up.
All right, Dresty, thank you.
Dresty,
That's
sorry,
okay.
thank you.
About 12 years ago, I was with my wife and kids living in South City. And on my way to work in the morning, sorry, there was traffic. So I got kind of rerouted through neighborhoods and was driving through a specific neighborhood. And I was so surprised to see parents and kids walking to school. I was just so, I didn't even think that existed anymore, like, except in movies. It's just not something, like I said, we lived in South City. I grew up in South County. It was not a thing. When it came time for our family to outgrow our house, we needed to move somewhere, knew exactly where we wanted to go. We came to Webster. So I ended up, we bought a house in South Webster. Our kids can, we live walking distance from both Clark and Hickson. So I have 2 kids at Clark, 1 at Hickson, and 1 at the high school too. So 4 currently in the school district. As we were living there for a few years, became friends with our neighbors, and of course frequented all the local businesses. We call it the bubble. We never leave the bubble. We're always in Webster. And so us and our neighbors, my wife and our neighbor's wife, realized that they were just really good at baking cookies, and everybody wanted their cookies, and people started giving them money to actually make these cookies. And one day, about 2 years ago, we decided that, we should do this. Let's jump into it. So we built a commercial kitchen in Old Orchard, and we opened Vanilla Sugar Bake Shop. And we've been there for almost a year now, coming up on a year. First holiday season, it's exciting. Yeah, anything that I can do in case you didn't read my thing, I come from an IT background, so I've been in IT for a couple of decades. So, but yeah, I just whatever I can do for our business, I definitely run all of our online sales, everything, all e-commerce stuff that we do. Also a lot of in-person sales, and then I'm also working at the shop a lot. So if you're in Old Orchard this Saturday for the Christmas festival, I forgot what the name of it, apologize. But I will be there working. Come on in, buy some cookies, and yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, don't sit down yet. We gotta see if there are any questions. But you were right. Doesn't look like there are any questions. Anything your shoes?
I can see it. Oh, I want to see my shoes.
Do you have a sister?
I do.
What's her name?
Jenny.
Okay, I work with a trustee and I just wondered.
Got it. We're all over the place.
All right.
Do I hang out? Or do I-
You can go ahead and leave. I meant to say that. When you all are finished, you may go, or you may stay. That's
It's a
okay.
hockey game
too.
at Webster tonight.
Oh, good. Good luck.
See you guys.
Go
Thank you.
Gatesman. We're gonna move to the Green Space Advisory Commission and Rory Bielik. We have 2 vacancies and we'll have 2 interviewees. Rory Bielik is here. Please come on up, down.
Hey, hi
Up,
everyone.
down.
Good to see you this evening. I'm going to be lobbying against something, but so my name is Rory Bielik and I have been a resident in Webster for 6 years. Although I grew up in St. Louis, I was in New York for 26 years before that, and LA for about 4 before that. My background has been throughout my career in grants, and I think you would have seen that in what I wrote. So the first 10 years was with Environmental Defense Fund. The next 15 was with Amtrak large capital projects, working with communities, and then with the community college district here for the last 5. And that's it. I retired in March. And so what I'm looking for is a way to get involved with the community. Transparency, I was asked to sit in and watch this commission. My neighbor from across the street is on the commission. And so she had me to dinner and impressed me and said, a way you've been talking about getting involved with the community. And so I said yes, but I started talking to neighbors as well and seeing what they thought, if they knew about the committee, what they thought that the committee might do, what it is doing, and some of the things that are happening right now, like the the no-mow April and the leave the leaves, and not everyone's a fan. I am, and I do it. And I'm very interested in green spaces, but I would also like to see what that means and where it goes and where I can fit in. I'm not necessarily looking for a grant writer position for the city.
I should have wrote that down. I was like.
It's a skill set that I'm certainly willing, especially in that committee, because I think there's a lot of room for partnerships with, Deer Creek Alliance and different folks who may come into contact or may be able to leverage what we're doing. And that's my bailiwick. I'm good at that. So I would be happy to be able to do it on a smaller scale. Yeah. Anything that I didn't cover that you would like to
Are
know?
there questions here?
Happy to let you see my shoes.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Who knew that would be the prerequisite? Although Tim got out of here before it came up. So, well, thank you, Roy, very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rory.
All right, we have Teresa Policki as well. Come on down. You can pick either side. This is better for the getaway.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually also for Green Space Advisory.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to announce that part. Yes, and there are 2 vacancies on this commission as well.
Yeah, so my name is Teresa Policki. My background was I have a degree in biology from an environmental liberal arts college. That was many years ago. I am now a Missouri Master Naturalist. I've been volunteering in the Webster Parks for 14 years now. The beginning, it was maybe not so structured in that I would be at the park and I would see invasive species come out of the ground. But now that Yvonne has been hosting all sorts of things like honeysuckle packs, and I've been doing that. I just volunteered with Carrie at the Rain Garden in Larson Park, and we live right next to there, so it's dear to me. I thought about being on this board a while back, but I was homeschooling, but my son is now in high school and I don't have to do that anymore. I do have time. I don't. but I have not done it before. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
No. You better go before Karen asks about your periods. Thank you very much. All right, as we continue, we're now back to the Arts Commission again. Tina Bailey. I turned the wrong way.
It's interesting. Hi, everyone. I'm Tina Bailey. My background educationally is architecture and art. I have a bachelor's degree in each, and professionally, it's mostly been focused on the architecture side. But I've had a lot of opportunities during that to work with artists like Bob Castley for about 5 years with a lot of his installations. And it's from a different perspective as far as working with them to coordinate with the local codes and jurisdictions and working with the organizations that they need to realize their larger scale projects and have them integrated into communities and into our environment. So that's been a great opportunity. Currently, I actually work at Commerce Bank on the architecture side still for their construction and design. And again, because of their own philanthropic background, they actually do have an art collection and have been and try to incorporate that into our project. So I have been involved in relocating sculptures from Kansas City, Missouri to here for, you know, a new building that we're doing, but on the structural and infrastructure side, working with those structural engineers, the fine art transporters, the insurance companies to coordinate all of those things to help bring them together. So really enjoyed the opportunities and kind of brings it from different directions. On the volunteer side, I've been able to work in the artscape a little bit at a school as a volunteer art teacher and coordinating about 500 grade school children, you know, to create art installations, become campus-wide projects and incorporate them into their community. So I've enjoyed the opportunities that I have had to volunteer or through work. I wanted to find an opportunity here in Webster to get more involved as well, and would be happy to be helpful.
Right, any questions?
So are you an architect?
I am.
You are? Have you thought about joining the architectural review board?
I have not, because I am not currently licensed and it is listed as one of the requirements.
We can believe it.
Oh, see?
Now,
I have not. I
That
had
sounds
considered
wonderful.
it,
Yeah.
But yes, I did look at to see that that was listed in there, and I know some other jurisdictions don't require that, but
I think your background would be very beneficial to the ARB. That's the only reason I bring it up. So
that opportunity.
Okay, well then this is the lawyer sitting at the
There you
table.
go.
We'll just waive that.
Notice I'm looking this
Yeah.
way.
But yes, but yeah.
As far as time and interest and opportunity, this is probably the speed that I know that I can dedicate the time and energy to and give it my full energy, and hopefully be able to contribute.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Good. Great. All right. Well,
Thanks,
thank you very much,
Thank
Tina.
you.
Okay, I
What an
promise you're
amazing
going.
community.
I know, I mean, this is
Amazing
like,
applicant.
holy
So,
cow.
Volunteer.
I know we have one left. Come on up, Nicole. Nicole Miller Strutman is also applying for the Sustainability Commission.
Hi, nice to meet you all. I am a professor at Webster. I actually grew up in Webster Groves and I've been left for a while. Came back 8 years ago and have been working at Webster ever since. I'm an ecologist, so a plant pollinator biologist. So I know a little bit about plants, a little bit about insects, and a whole lot about how they interact with each other. My research recently has really focused in on human modified landscapes and how that influences plant pollinator interactions. That has brought me into this amazing community within St. Louis, but Webster in particular, of folks who make intentional decisions about how to manipulate their own landscape for biodiversity. So one of the things that I think is really critical in the future of conservation, to say that without not meaning to say, you know, something big hubris, but I think everything starts small, right? We all work within our own small communities. And the things that we can do in an individual community can actually have really large impacts. And this is the place where those decisions get made, right? Like some of those larger scale decisions that kind of influence all of the people living in the area. So that is my background and why I would like to be on the commission. I have lots more that I could say, but I think that kind of gives you the, overview.
Questions? We're gonna make this easy on you, and thank you for waiting to be the last one in our long list.
Thanks for
Thanks, Nicole.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank
Have a good one.
Give your dad our best.
Oh, I will. Yeah, my dad is Doug Miller.
Oh, yeah, I guess many of us know him.
Yeah.
so.
Anyway, have a good one.
All right. So we will come back to making some choices here at the end of our work session. But we're going to review the regular agenda.
I'm sorry, was Tim Farmer the one that sustainability,
Yeah,
with the grant?
no,
No,
that was Rory.
That was.
that was Roy for Green Space Advisory. But we'll come back to making those selections. Katie and I discussed it. We have a relatively brief agenda, so we can review the regular meeting agenda, but we thought we'd just stay put and maybe save ourselves some time in the transfer over.
Thank you.
So just a heads up on that. So is there anything on the regular agenda that anyone would like to talk about before we get to our regular meeting in a little while? It's not that big, so.
It's exciting though.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
All right, well then let's start with updates. Karen, you want to start down there at the end?
I have nothing. Parks and Rec is basically not meeting until January.
Gotcha.
No updates. We have two updates. Just a reminder that the Old Orchard Holiday Festival is Saturday up at Old Orchard Business District. A lot of businesses have been working to make their establishments more festive for the season, and there are grab bags, and Santa will be in Gazebo Park as well as Polar Express. And then at 5 o'clock is the tree lighting ceremony. And this Thursday, another reminder for everything you want to know about recycling, a field trip to Hazelwood, the American or Republic Services recycling plant in Hazelwood. If you are interested, we have 4 spots available still, and 2 cars. So if you'd like to go, please let John Hickey know, or show up at 1 o'clock in the parking lot here at City Hall, and they're gonna carpool up there. And that's it.
Sounds good. Thank you. David,
Nothing for me, Madam Mayor.
Nothing.
just gonna keep moving, either one.
I have a couple quick ones. Just a reminder that the planning department is closed on Tuesdays. This was the first Tuesday. Worked well, so we've been posting that. And we had 2 promotions, which were really exciting. And Mayor, I think you're going to say some things later, so I'll keep mine brief. But congratulations to Scott Davis, who is definitely super excited, and congratulations to Gregory Donovan, the finance director. So really looking forward to working with both of them in a different capacity. It's exciting.
Mr. City Attorney. All right, look at us. We're still moving right along.
And you're very dapper, star.
I got a scarf. Went with my shoes. Have you seen those?
It matches Marie.
Color
Let's see who has it at the end of the night.
All right, just a couple things for me. January 7th meeting. Katie has done that was the meeting we were looking maybe for a bigger venue. Katie has explored with both the university and the school district. There aren't any really good options that allow us to have Zoom capability that really give us more capacity. So I am passing along her recommendation that we will set up here. I know what the process would be to put as many people as we can safely in chambers, have this room available, and then fire chief has even said that we can put some chairs in the hallway and we can have one of the screens out there if we really do have a significantly larger crowd than usual, and it can still be safe. So that's her recommendation. Unless there's an objection, I think that means we stay put for that meeting and we just are better prepared for a large number of people.
Yeah, was there any problem with some of the community sitting on the floor in the last meeting?
I have not heard concerns about that. It would be about.
Only for safety.
Sure, yeah.
Because it was quite a few people sitting on the floor. I was sitting in here, but they were sitting on the floor.
And I think part of, at least in my conversation with Katie, part of the discussion is that we will have a more specific plan in place about where to put people and people to direct people. So if the fire chief tells us sitting on the floor shouldn't happen, then we'll have people available to move them around.
Probably not, because the fire chief is sitting here with me, so probably won't have any problems.
We'll make sure to have more chairs.
Right, we're gonna put out extra chairs.
Yeah.
Even if we have to get some from parks, some smaller foldable ones.
I think the only time that people on the floor was a problem was they couldn't get to the podium to speak.
Yeah.
And so we had to move people in order to make sure that there was a pathway there. But I think if we do that, there's a maximum number of people that we can have, whether they're in chairs or on the floor, that it's that number that will dictate what we do. So again, just having people in an area where they can get to the podium is really key.
And people can submit comment cards from here on the screen, or we call them, they come in. So we won't limit comments in that way.
Regular start times, are we starting earlier?
We are going to advertise the 7 o'clock meeting.
Correct.
So we'll have a shorter work session and just try and get that underway in order to accommodate what we expect to be a significant number of public comments.
Can I add an addendum? I just thought of something.
Yes.
So you can do your train of thought though.
No, please, I'm fine. I'm gonna move on
Now
to
that I've
another
already
thing.
interrupted.
No,
it.
please go right ahead.
I forgot the library board, the library has fully transitioned over to Evergreen, which is a new consortium. Really amazing stuff. It seems like we saw a demo of it the last meeting. But it's going to be easier to get books that the library doesn't have through the consortium and everything. A lot easier to download and reserve books. So highly recommend you guys, if you're interested, to entertain that. I really like the library board too, but I think it's the best board we got. They're great. They're on top of it.
And are there, I know when I was on, the audiobooks hadn't really kicked in, but now I think that I would think that they're like a really big part of.
Yeah, huge part. And it's really easy to download them, really easy to reserve them.
And you can reserve those through the consortium too, so that they don't, okay.
Yeah, and then it would just pop into your cart or whatever once it's ready.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, if you don't want, like say you're already in the middle of another book, you can just pass it. It'll just come back to you the next time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really, I mean, it was really innovative and like easy to use, it seems like, so.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm glad you mentioned it. Crossroads Business District has its holiday walk a week from Saturday. So go to Old Orchard this weekend, and then the following Saturday, head on over to Crossroads. I know that there'll be, including, there might be a little thing at Off Elm too. That's maybe in the works. I don't know. And if you didn't know, Off Elm is open for business now.
Look busy every time I come.
Yeah. Chili cook-off, Webster wins in the battle for the chili cook-off. Parkmore, just feel like that needs to go on the official public record. But more importantly, for the day of Thanksgiving, I just did want to take a moment to, for most cities, Thanksgiving people are off and they get to go spend it with their family, and they think about things other than their job. But in our town, Thanksgiving is maybe second only to the 4th of July and how many people are actually out and working. And so I just wanted to take a moment to recognize everybody who was working on Thanksgiving, for the run, for the game, and worked there before that to get everything prepared for that day. So thank you all for that. In terms of staff, I just want to echo what Marie said. I'm not sure you said Scott's official title, which is, maybe you did, Deputy City Manager for Strategic Innovations. On the camera, you can't see that Scott's sitting in the corner. At some point, this means you're going to have to be on camera a little bit more, which I know you won't mind. But I just, on behalf of council, because I didn't ask everybody, but I'm pretty confident in saying this, that we are very pleased and very happy to be working with you, and really want to say thanks to the city manager. I mean, first of all, thank you to you for putting yourself forward for more responsibilities, because that just demonstrates more of your commitment to the people of Webster Groves and Webster Groves city staff, but also to the city manager for, thinking internally and recognizing that you have more skills that we can take advantage of. So, and so it's going to be great, and I really look forward to it. And I know you'll have surprises for us, and I will tell you, I already appreciate your style with council, because I feel confident you will always tell us what you think. And that is an important thing when you're in this job. And I did just also want to say to Gregory, as Director of Finance, thank you also for putting yourself forward for a greater responsibility. And it's really also nice to know that all of the things that you've done for us in your relatively short tenure have paid off in such great ways, and to have that recognized and have you continue to serve in a greater capacity is I think a great thing, and just wanted to say to you, I know we're about to start budget season, and I am confident that we are in great hands, so thank you for that. All right.
So, did you say Scott is additional, as in you're still the parks guru, or no?
For short time span,
Until we can find a replacement for it?
yes, which is already posted and advertised, and we've already got 12 applicants
Oh,
so
wow.
far.
Okay.
And it's gonna take all 12 to make.
No, I'm glad you're still here.
Still make multiple parts each.
Oh, my goodness. All right, how about if we work on these appointments to boards and commissions? All right, Sustainability Commission, both Tim Farner and Nicole Miller Strutman have applied. As is the case, I'm gonna let the council liaison to that commission speak first, if you have any thoughts about that.
How many openings do we have?
We just have one right now in sustainability.
I don't have, I mean, I have an opinion, but I don't, I think they're both great candidates, and so I think, you know, either one would be a good asset, and I think there's gonna be some other opportunities for other people after the first of the year.
Okay. Anybody have strong feelings? I will say that I have been in contact with Nicole in the past when I was the liaison to the Sustainability Commission, when she was helping some community gardens in town. Really, I thought she did well in her interaction and her trying to bridge a gap between city and some private citizens. So I just wanted to say that was a good experience.
Hasn't she done an eco ed talk?
Maybe.
I feel like she's
Yeah.
worked with Green
Yeah.
Space and stuff.
Yeah. I know Tim's out in the community a lot.
He
too,
is.
So,
Tim and I coach basketball together.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's. Am I gonna?
Can we pick one for now and then have the next one ready for the next vacancy? Does that work?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Without
reviewing
interviewing
it?
again? Yes.
Yeah, we can do it without an interview. What we'll just do is we'll have to have it on the agenda to make the announcement
Right.
when the opening is available. Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah.
Next week.
So we can do that. All right. The
My,
question is who goes first?
I mean, my initial take would be have Nicole go first and then have Tim take the next opening, but like, yeah, I think they're both great.
Yeah.
Candidates.
I would have been the opposite direction.
Oh, really?
It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
so.
I don't care.
Why don't we go with Nicole first, and we'll just ask Tim if he doesn't mind waiting.
Okay.
Just
Yes.
kind of random, what's the composition in terms of gender of the commission?
Ooh. I'd say it's pretty equal, actually.
It's one of the few, but
Yeah, it is
A
pretty
couple of our
equal.
commissions that are really heavy, either.
yeah.
Yeah, no, there's
Yeah.
no. Yeah,
I guess the commission don't call for any type of alternate. Just to.
Does not.
Okay, so Nicole
Yeah,
appointed.
we'll go with Nicole
and
appointed and Tim.
Tim will
for the
fill
next-
vacancy.
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
And if you would make clear to him, he doesn't have to come back and interview
Sure.
again.
yeah,
Sure will.
yeah.
And as Pam said, I mean, I think this is true for everywhere right now, that we are embarrassed by the quality. It could be embarrassing, the high quality of people that we have, because they're just so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to business development. Joe Dresty interviewed today. We had Melissa Downs from Cyrano's last meeting. Jamie is the liaison, and she recognized the quality of both candidates as well, but made the recommendation for Miss Downs because of the voice of the restaurateur, she said is probably needed on the commission at this time.
I would also say that vanilla sugar is represented on the Old Orchard right now,
Oh, okay.
too, so I think going with Cyrano's is Melissa's.
Okay, so then is there any objection to appointing Melissa Downs to the Business Development Commission?
No objection.
Okay, and then would we like to ask Mr. Dresty to if we can get back in touch with them and when there's an opening, we feel that strongly about his candidacy.
Yeah,
Okay. We will do that.
And so you said he's already on what?
Someone from the same business is
company.
on
Okay.
Old Orchard already. Yeah.
Okay, Green Space Advisory Commission, Rory Bielik and Teresa Policki, and there are 2 vacancies on that with 2 applicants.
Like them both.
All right, let's do that. And then we had 2 applicants for the Arts Commission with 1 vacancy. The first one was Tristan Mayoko Tobin, and the second was Tina Bailey.
I kind of like the first one's, it seemed like her approach regarding things other than a broader look at arts, when she was looking at the theaters and things like that, as opposed to art, what you typically think of as art, you know, sculptures and things. I mean, I think we already have a strong city of the arts that I guess probably from a mother hen perspective, I was like, but we have a great art city. But we could always look, you know, benefit from a new perspective and everything. But I did like the idea that she was looking at it from a performance art perspective as well. And that's really the first time I heard somebody kind of speak about our arts from the performance art perspective. Or did I just sleep on it?
Other thoughts?
I know Trish is really good too. I really like the other one though too. I like her architectural background. I think that's a unique background for the Arts Commission. I think Trish's obviously journalism background's really unique too, but I hope that we could use, what's the other one's name?
Tina.
Tina, in some capacity, whether it's making a waiver for the ARB.
Do we have openings on it?
Not right now.
So then
Lord,
might I-
about the ARB, when she's like,
Mine
okay,
is
let's
not
move
the-
right along.
I think that's more time.
May I suggest that we go ahead and appoint Trish, since there's some consensus, and do exactly the same thing with with Tina, in terms of giving her the next available vacancy. Because I wouldn't be surprised if we had a few relatively soon.
Okay.
Is that all right with
Just
everyone?
because people's terms are coming up.
Yeah.
And
And there have been some people who've been on for quite a long time.
That's great.
Okay, now I have to remember what I just said.
Trish.
The historic
Yeah.
preservation would be good for Tina as well. Not that we have open, just thinking down the line.
Okay. Wait, where did we decide about sustainability?
Nicole.
Oh, I did that over there. Okay, got it. All right, Katie will get me if I announce things wrong.
It's important too.
Yeah, well, no, if
Oh,
we have in the
yeah.
regular meeting, we have to announce them. All right, last thing, reappointment, Andrew Pates has served 1 term and a portion of the term for a member who resigned early as an alternate member. He wishes to be considered for reappointment.
What's that for?
Board of Adjustment. He would also be interested in the Traffic Advisory Commission. And we do have a regular member vacancy there. But
His background does match well with traffic.
don't we have a problem sometimes getting a quorum for Board of Adjustment? I mean, I feel like I had that
Occasionally.
conversation with Debbie Sahlberg not too long ago.
Yes.
And he would be being reappointed as a full member, not as an alternate, right? Is he an alternate now?
He's an alternate.
He's an
now,
alternate now.
And that's what he was.
But my understanding is for Board of Adjustment, being an alternate is about the same thing as being a full member because you so frequently get called in to sit.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you should.
Yeah.
Board of Adjustment.
I mean, that's what that was his
Yeah,
first-
right, yeah. All right, so we will reappoint him to the Board of Adjustment. Okay. Have I forgotten anything?
Oh, God. Katie, you've been busy.
Katie's been very busy. All right, does anyone need a break or can we plow into our regular meeting?
Let's plow.
Do we need to?
There's, the notes up and there's a guy in the hallway waiting for
They're ready to start now.
Come on in anytime.
It's fine, I just already keeping track.
Yeah.
I was here to say happy holidays. And it's not at the police, just in case. Thank you.
Just sitting up.
Yeah,
How you doing?
you don't need to hear from me. There's no one else there to hear.
All right, we will, if we're ready to go ahead and start with the call of the roll, please.
Yes, Mayor. Mayor Arnold.
Here.
Councilmember Bliss. Here. Councilmember Franklin.
Here.
Councilmember Smith.
Here.
Councilmember Alexander.
Here.
Councilmember Hickson Shepherd. Here. Councilmember Hassemeyer is absent.
All right, we will begin with our remarks of the community and visitors. Mr. Dave Buck, you will appear right here. You're gonna sit.
Yeah.
You're still on the timer though, I gotta warn you.
Yeah. Well, first of all, congratulations, Greg, Scott, congratulations, and I want to talk to you about the indoor pool. I was going to talk about the whole KVC controversy, but I'm going to save that to the next meeting. I want to thank Neil. We had a really good email exchange on the subject of mediation and peacemaking, and I'm going to talk about that next meeting. But tonight was a school board meeting, and as you know, there have three big positions open: superintendent, principal of the high school, and principal of Bristol School, which won the Blue Ribbon Award. That's a national award for an elementary school. So there's three big positions open in the school district. And the Missouri School Board Association was in. They have 24 candidates. Half of them are from out of state. But the question that I thought of in coming here was, what is the current relationship between the city council and the school board? Here's the reason I ask, is that, number one, are they asking any of you? Are they asking Laura? She's an educator, for her opinion on candidates. I don't think they're even reaching out to the city. 75% of our tax revenue goes to the school district. I mean, you have a symbiotic relationship. And then on the other side, I think the number one or two reasons why people move to Webster in the first place is the quality of the school district. I mean, city council ought to be, I think, really concerned about the school district. And I'll tell you why, because Emerson, when you were there, the rating of the school, and rankings aren't everything, but people look at rankings. They were in the top 10 of St. Louis public high schools. They're now in the 20s. I think they're 22 or 23. They dropped precipitously. Should you all, as a city council, be concerned about that? 70% of your money is going to the school district. I mean, you ought to at least have some input. And the other thing is that for as long as I've lived here, at least once a year, the 7 members of the city council, 7 members of the school board would sit down once a year and have a powwow. They'd share, update everybody on what they're doing. I always thought it was kind of a cool, frosty relationship. And the thing that I think hurt it the most was in Emerson, you know this better than anybody, in 2015 when Prop S&W, Barb and I worked really hard for Prop S&W. We advocated hard for it. But a resident, happened to be a city council member named Greg Miller, started a resident opposition campaign called Spend Wisely, and it defeated Prop S&W. Emerson lived through all of this. Yeah, I just think it's like, you guys have to get together, and I don't see it happening as much as it should be. Thanks.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
All right, new business. Does anyone have any new business? I will just mention that Katie, the city clerk, has a copy of the letter, and we've all signed just to go to Brentwood with a Freedom of Information Act request surrounding some of the issues of Brentwood Bound and flooding within Deer Creek Park. So that will be an ongoing discussion for us, and I know that both the city manager and the city attorney will keep us apprised of the what response and information we get from that. I just wanted to mention that that was, will go out this week, or we'll go over to Brentwood this week. All right, new business. Let's see.
Of strategic innovations.
Councilman Alexander, could you call for the first and second reading of bill number 9273, please?
Yes, Mayor, I would like to call for the first and second reading of bill number 9273.
Can I hear a second?
Yes.
Bill 9273, first reading. An ordinance providing for a boundary adjustment between the cities of Webster Groves and Maplewood.
All right, we have, yes.
Yes.
I think we have a brief presentation here.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. A couple slides to share with you. The first is, as you all know, the city in Great Rivers Greenway and the city of Maplewood and the city of St. Louis have been partnering for the next phase of the Deer Creek Greenway alignment, which goes along through those cities. It kind of finishes right at the end of the former McDonald's property. Great Rivers Greenway has purchased that property and now owns it. This drawing illustration is the 95% design of what that park will look like. Right now, they are about ready to put that out for bid for construction, which will start next year. As part of that, they will be, once the construction's done, they'll be donating that parcel over to the city of Webster Groves, and we will own it and maintain it for the foreseeable future. The sign of issue with that is that parcel is bisected right through the middle of it with the boundary between the cities of Maplewood and Webster Groves. So if Webster Groves is going to own that parcel and maintain it, I thought it would be easier if we owned the entire parcel and it was all in our jurisdiction. So if anything in the future came up, we would not need to go to Maplewood for any additional zonings or artwork or changes or anything of that nature. So I requested that GRG take a look at that. They have made a formal request to both Maplewood and Webster Groves to move that boundary, which would be just this shaded portion right here, is currently in the city of Maplewood. So that heart-shaped structure would be pushed out, and that would all become Webster Groves. We've done the same process before with the cities of Rock Hill and Brentwood. So we're following that same outline that we used before. There's no tax implications on this parcel as it is in the public domain with Great Rivers Greenway now. It'll stay in the public domain with Webster Groves, so there's no tax implications. There's no residents that live on it. It will be zoned fully in C commercial district, which it already partially is in Webster Groves. Parks can live in any of the zoning districts in Webster, but since it's next to all the other commercial districts, the C commercial districts, probably the right one for that. The city of Maplewood has already started this process. They have done first and second readings in November. They're scheduled for third reading next week at their regular meeting. Should they approve it and Webster approve it, both those ordinances have to be done in conjunction. Neither one of them are valid unless both do it. Once they both would be approved, we would submit that then to the Boundary Commission, the Recorder of Deeds, and the Circuit Court. And at that point, the property then would be, the boundary would be adjusted to totally be inside Webster Groves.
So again, there's no tax thing on the property, so there's no loss or gain.
Correct.
For either party. It's just really a maintenance type thing for someone.
What's the size of that shaded area?
That is it's on there.
It looks like it's 0.5 acre.
Thank you.
Okay.
I will
There
you go. Yeah, it's only about a little over 1 full acre for the parcel. So
Scott, some of the amenities, I guess this was designed by the Greenway. The rain garden, the skatable zone, all that is going to stay.
Yes, so we've been working with them very diligently over the last year plus on designing this. We did surveys to the community on what they would like to see, and that was a broad survey that incorporated not just Webster but other local municipalities around us. It was predominantly answered by Webster Groves residents, and these were the types of things that they wanted to see in there, as well as things that GRG wants to see. There's a pavilion structure there. That'll be in this region, nature playground area with a swing and slide and timber framed playground. The rain garden will obviously help any kind of stormwater runoff type conditions. This lower pathway has benches on them that are structurally built so that they can also be skatable items, which is a nice little thing next to the greenway. Kind of little pocket parks as people can ride on the way down the greenway. We've got the pump track at the Marshall Avenue trailhead. You'll have this. There's some further skating areas as you get down into the city. So it's something that people can kind of hit as they go down. Won't really be a destination skate park of any type of means. So there'll be, 2 or 3 things to do tricks on, but it'll be something unique that I'm not aware that anybody else in the region has something like that yet. They're real popular in Texas and Canada and Seattle and some places like that, but hadn't really hit the Midwest yet.
Like that's intentional.
Yeah.
How does this do when we have these big rain events? Is this an area that tends to flood?
So yes and no. The last one just a few weeks ago, some of the parking lot closer to Deer Creek Park was certainly underwater. I actually could not get over to here, but I got over there the next day and it didn't look like it was underwater, but I wasn't there during the event. I was actually focusing on Deer Creek Park at that point. But everything there is, at most we would lose mulch and wood chip, playground safety surface out of here. Your rain gardens are actually designed to hold all that water and store all that water. Now, obviously, if something happened in the installation or establishment phase, we might lose some plants in the first year or something like that happened. But once those plantings are established, shouldn't be ideally wouldn't be a big scenario.
And my other question was accessibility. I know that we had talked about and decided to kind of go a different route, other than making this fully accessible, or rather spreading that accessibility out to all of our parks. But the things that are designed here, like how do they fit in with how accessible they are for guests?
The greenway and all the walkway pathways, all of that is 100% accessible. That's something that's a big focus of Great Rivers Greenway as well as the city. The playground is going to be a natural engineered wood fiber surface, which does meet ADA guidelines. However, anybody that's tried to push a stroller or move a mobility device across those surfaces, they are not the best of all ADA surfaces. It's not a poured in place rubber surface, unitary type surface. So, if I was rating this, I'd probably give you an 85, 90, which is a pretty good score for a park. You're never going to get everything to be 100%, but it's pretty high on the list.
And no restrooms, right?
No restrooms. Potential for a drinking fountain. We're still working out the details on that. I think we will likely not get it due to budgetary concerns. And there is a drinking fountain just 1,800 some odd feet down the way at Deer Creek Park. So I'm not sure that that's needed, but it'll have bike fixing stations and a bunch of other cool features like that.
Scott, about a year ago, there was some discussion when people from the City Museum were here when we did the recognition for Lifetime Achievement in the Arts for Bob Castley. Some discussion that maybe they would be interested in lending us a piece of public art for this space. Have those discussions continued at all?
They are. They've kind of been put on hold until this process was done, which has taken a little bit of time to get to this point. There is a space up in here for future art installation. That's one of the reasons I was requesting this, is because if you notice that shaded location would not be currently in the city of Webster Groves. So
Right.
if we put any kind of art installation there right now, we would need to go to Maplewood, have
And
their
also
arts
do it.
commission to
Gotcha.
also approve those features.
Okay.
So yes, actually, they just reached out earlier this week to see where we're at on it.
Okay.
So yes.
Great, thank you
Yep.
very much.
Do we think that like the current talks that we are having or need to have with Maplewood about the other issues might impact what they might do with this?
Brentwood versus Maplewood.
Brentwood versus Maplewood. Never mind.
Yeah, Maplewood so far has had no concerns with this. They had first and second reading and their council had no issues with it. So I
Yeah, no, I
anticipate-
was confused. I was Brentwood, yeah.
Scott, were there any discussions about collectively maintaining this park?
There was, we started this discussions probably 7-ish years ago, at the time, and still Maplewood was not really interested in maintaining it. They were happy that we were willing to do so, and take it over. They're putting in, almost 2 miles worth of greenway, in their city that they're going to be maintaining as part of this process too. Not that we don't also have greenway, but I think that they were not interested in picking this up as a park for them.
Do you envision us having to employ any more staff in order to maintain this park?
I do not think so. There will obviously be some maintenance load on it. We are trying to design it as such that it's very minimal. All the plantings are native plantings, so after the establishment phase, probably only have to touch those 2 to 3 times a year to really kind of weed the beds that they're in. There will be mowing that'll need to happen. I'm still trying to work on the Deer Creek Shopping Center. They currently mow all along this current greenway. I'm still working on seeing if they don't want to just go ahead and pick up this extra 1/4 acre of mobile turf while they're there. I'm potentially even willing to maybe pay them to do that, because it would be less costly for them to do it while they're already there than it would be to me to send somebody out there to do it.
Well, why not let Maplewood keep this land and have them pay for it? Like, why, I guess that's where I'm confused. Like, I love the idea of having a new park, but why not, why should Webster residents be on the hook for the sole cost of the maintenance?
That's a fair question. Maplewood, said from the get-go, they didn't want to do it. They have not designed any of this park. The design has all been based on what Great Bridge Greenway and Webster has decided that we want to put in. We've been working down that pathway for, the better part of 2 years, really working and designing on it. So I don't think the maintenance load will be very high on this park.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, and I understand that, but to a certain degree, right? Like, I mean, this is the result of collective inaction in a community. And it's like, merely because it's a border doesn't mean that they don't need parks, or their citizens don't use parks. And it seems like our citizens now have to bear the brunt of the cost and the burden of it, and they get to enjoy it as well. And all they have to do is give us a little bit of land that, one, they don't get tax money from, and 2, they don't really maintain now. So this is the problem with divided municipalities like this. I love the idea of the park. I think it all looks great. I appreciate all your hard work.
Right,
So this is like splitting between this is the shopping center, right?
That's the old McDonald's.
That's the old
This
McDonald's.
is just the old, okay,
Yeah.
I was like, there's nothing there now.
There's not. It's just a
Okay,
big open field right now. With
so
some-
that's only where McDonald's was sitting.
Yes.
This is all parking lot.
Road, and then that's like the old video place.
Yeah. The kickboxing place
This is the video.
yeah, and yep,
This is just the old picture.
correct.
But, okay, that's what I was just, I'm like, I have to get everything up there. None of this looks familiar.
And do we get the revenue?
All right, any additional questions? All right, thank you, Scott. I think we do need to do a second reading. I think we just did one.
Yes, sir.
Could we have that second reading, please?
Bill 9273, second reading. In ordinance, providing for a boundary adjustment between the cities of Webster Groves and Maplewood.
All right, and we have this on our agenda at our last meeting, so we'll move on to the approval of the consent agenda. Would anyone like to remove the minutes from the consent agenda? All right, Councilmember Franklin, could you do this for us, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'd like to call for the approval and adoption of the consent agenda.
Second.
Councilmember Bliss,
Yes.
Councilmember Franklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander.
Yes.
Councilmember Hickson Shepherd.
Yes.
Mayor Arnold.
Yes. All right, we'll see if I get this right. We've made some appointments to boards and commissions. We have appointed Nicole Miller-Strutman to the Sustainability Commission, with Tim Farner taking the next available opening. We have appointed Trish Mayoko Tobin to the Arts Commission, with Tina Bailey as serving on the next opening. Melissa Downs has been appointed to the Business Development Commission, Rory Bielek and Teresa Policki to the Green Space Advisory Commission. And Andrew Pothaste has been reappointed as an alternate member to the Board of Adjustment. I think that covers it all. We do need to have a brief closed session. I'm going to ask the city manager or city attorney to tell me under what provision of state statute that might be. All right, please.
2 and 4.
Councilmember Bliss, could you?
Yes, I'd like to call for an executive closed session related to real estate Missouri statute 610.021 subsection 2 and negotiated contract Missouri statute 610.021 subsection 12.
Okay.
Councilmember Franklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander.
Yeah.
Councilmember Hickson Shepherd.
Yes.
Mayor Arnold.
Yes.
Councilmember Bliss.
Yes.
All right.
Meeting adjourned.
We're just official appointments that she's got it, so we'll have to make the second person.
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned, yes. We're gonna